The date is Friday, December 31st, and you're listening to Entertain This, a thought-provoking podcast encapsulating all things entertainment. In this final episode of the year, we reflect on some of our favorite episodes and reminisce on some of our fan favorites. In hindsight, we had a pretty crazy year full of surprises and some of our best episodes yet. So listen in as we live it all again, and enjoy.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the only show on the internet encapsulating all things entertainment. Dun 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 bum 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 bum. It's Entertain This.
Entertain This.
Special guest William Tell.
We made it. We did it. We did it, guys. We lived through another year after we all thought that we basically were done doing that last year. We did another one. We did the unnecessary sequel to 2020. We're calling it 2021. New year, same me. Still same stuff going on globally. And somehow, through all of the chaos, we were able to stick through it, stick it out. And here we are. As always, I am one of your intrepid hosts. I'm Alex.
I'm Michael.
And I am Nick.
Guys, we did this last year, and I'm so happy to do it again. It's our New Year's Eve, New Year's special. It is a year in a nutshell. What do we call it?
Well, last year I called it a year in retrospect, but we don't have to use a big.
No, let's do that.
word.
I love it.
All right.
A year in
2021.
retrospect. 2021, a year in retrospect. This is the episode where we go back and we answer the question that we ask every week. Entertain this. Did we entertain this? Is kind of the big question. As you all know, our kind of heavy-handed our statement is for our show. It's a show encapsulating all things entertainment, of course, but what we really are trying to do is convince the other two people to entertain this. Meaning whatever we bring to the table, it's basically like, hey, can I convince the other two that this is worth their time? And a lot of times it's stuff that all three of us like anyway, so entertain this really isn't like a whole thing. But we're going to go back through, we're going to delve through the archives, and we're going to talk about everything that we talked about this year, at least briefly, and take a walk down memory lane, starting with January 8th, 2021, where we did our very first episode of the year. This year was headed by myself. We did an episode called Saturday Night Live, Creativity to Cue Cards. And first off, just as a year in retrospect, I just want to say the titles of our episodes are all Nick Mustakangas, and they're always bangers.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about always. There's a couple that are better than
some
others.
Some of them are stinkers, but the majority, I would say,
a lot of them are shitty.
90% of them are bangers, and this is one of them. Saturday Night Live, Creativity to Cue Cards, which
That's
is
a good one.
In one sentence that completely describes what that episode was about. We took a look at Saturday Night Live, its origins, how it was created, and what is possibly wrong with it now, being that it's overscripted, the actors aren't paying attention to like the actual things that are going on. There's very little improv. Now let's talk about it. This actually sparked a sort of renaissance for me, because after doing this, I went back and I started in the 1970s and started rewatching Saturday Night Live from the first episode, including like Chevy Chase and all of them. Yeah, I didn't get very far. I think I made it to like season 3, and then I got distracted by something else and have yet to go back to it. But I do plan.
Yeah,
I do plan on going back to it.
You tried.
So next up, down the line on January 15th, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Wholesome Television. This was Nick's first episode of the year. And we're not going to do episode by episode, but these first episodes feel important.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'd say it's almost, well, because we took a week off, right? At the end of last year. And we're going to
take a week off at the end of this year, too, yeah.
Right, so I think
it's the reason why this episode is being released, way before New Year's Day.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's us trying to get out on the right foot, for lack of a better term, and trying to establish ourselves in the loose shifting soil of 2021, and then we'll probably do the same in next year. But yeah, the first episodes are kind of, I wouldn't say they set the tone for the entire thing, but that's just my personal thoughts on the first initial episodes.
So how do you feel about your first episode of the year clocking in at exactly sorry, no, I read that wrong. I have 69 minutes left in the episode.
A little inappropriate for Mr. Rogers, but
yeah, well,
I just feel like it was a good thing. It was a nice visit for me back to childhood, when a time when things were kind of simple, deceptively so, because you're kind of sheltered as a kid, and hopefully you guys were too, from the time you were 5 until 0, right? But Mr. Rogers is kind of one of those things that you look back on it now, it's like, this is wholesome. This is what childhood was like, where everything was just kind of calm and relaxed, and he just kind of showed you everything. And here comes the trolley and the puppets and all that. So, yeah, good episode, I guess.
Nice.
Mr. Rogers, hats off to you if you're still out. He's not still out there. So
that was fucked up what you just did.
I didn't mean to do that. That's not a joke. Don't laugh. I was like, he's still out, and he's still not. God damn it. Shut up, Nick. Stop talking.
We're going to leave that one to ignorance. January 22nd, our third episode, and Michael's first episode of the year. This really defines how long a year ago was. Cyberpunk 2077. It had just dropped. The world was screaming about it.
Yep.
Hype, disenchantment, and hope.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it, Michael.
Yeah.
First off, is it any better?
It is better now. It is much better now. I didn't play it. I played it like about 2 or 3 months ago again. And it was like one of those things was like, yeah, like a lot of the stuff that was broken is like fixed. But really, like that's been their big thing, is they fixed a lot of what was broken, which is still like only getting halfway there, because there's still so many like broken promises, under-delivered features and stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't know. I personally really enjoyed this episode because I felt like I got to give a unique perspective on it, especially out of the two of us, with like coming from the side of being like a product developer, and being able to kind of give insight into what that process looks like. But yeah, the game though, yeah, it's better. Still not good, but it's better.
Should I go buy it? That's the big question here.
I think if you know going into it like what it is, then and you're okay with that, then yes. Like if you are wanting to come in and be like, okay, I want like a sci-fi single player RPG, like, all right, cool. Whereas like everyone at the time was thinking like, this game is gonna define like our lives. Like it is gonna be the game of like for the next 10 years, and it's gonna set the bar so high. It's like, no, it buried the bar about 5 feet below.
They tried, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So next up would be a guest episode. And I think a little bit later on in this episode, we're going to actually discuss all, I believe it was 11 guests that we had this year. We're just going to do a quick run through of everybody and, give them a special thanks and a special shout out at the end of this episode. But first, and I'm going to go first here, I want to talk about what our favorite episodes of the year were. And the reason I'm going first is so you guys can frantically scroll and pick one.
How'd you know?
So I want to talk about my favorite episode of the year that feels so relevant, especially right now. I feel like there are moments in podcasting where the goal is, of course, to entertain, but also, it's journalism. Just like every other thing is journalism. You want to be first to hit the iron while it's hot. And I feel like there was an episode that we made, and I hope that it gets the attention it deserves, but it hit the iron while it was so hot, it basically melt whatever hit it, because we nailed the timing on this one. And it was Debate This, the only Debate This that I think we did this year. Debate This, which actor is the best Spider-Man?
Yeah.
And of course it's going to be my favorite.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But no, it was like, because we did this before there was really like any leaks or like, because even this episode we're doing now is still technically before the movie comes out.
Yeah, we're watching it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and so it was just like cool. It was the timing was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The like content couldn't have been better.
It was super well received. We got a lot of
Yeah.
new people watching, which was cool. And you know, it's Spider-Man. Why are you laughing?
Just because I'm thinking back, like,
Oh,
if you
trust me,
look at
Nick.
the ratio of bullshitting that I had to do for that, it was like way off the charts as opposed
And
to
Yeah.
not only did
actual
you
things.
not only did you do bullshitting, but your bullshitting got called out by like a fandom. They were like, "This guy didn't know what the hell he was talking about."
Correct,
Like
I didn't.
there were fans of
Hot.
Andrew Garfield who, after listening to your arguments, basically was like, "The Rock on the Ground could have done a better job defending my boy." Like,
So what? I don't think he was the best Spider-Man.
but you did.
Personally, I think it's Tobey Maguire. Okay?
Sure. I would agree, and I argued it even. Now, here's something I want to ask you just in retrospect. At the time, had you watched Andrew Garfield's movies?
No.
Have you watched them now?
I watched the first one, The Amazing
Great.
Spider-Man. I
That's
didn't get to the
huge.
second one.
I just watched the second one last night in preparation for the movie that we're seeing tomorrow.
No, I did watch the second one. I'm sorry. I did. Yeah.
So did you watch the first one?
Yeah, I watched the first one and the second one.
Great. Then you're ahead of
They
the
were
curve.
okay.
Yeah.
They were okay.
That is exactly what they were. They were okay. So let's talk about what your guys' favorite episodes this year were.
Michael, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. I had a few. I had a few real ones that I really, really loved, especially like a lot of the guest ones.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like one of my favorites that I got to talk about was the Green Knight.
Yeah,
The Green Knight episode, titled "The Green Knight Arthurian Fanfics." I don't know. For me, that was like a quintessential like Michael episode. It was like basically like me doing a unnecessary amount of research on like some random topic and then deriving my own random ass conclusion based off of what I figured out. And
Michael,
just, like,
I don't know where you've been for the last 2 years, but that's what this show is.
No.
That's
but
what
like
we do here.
What I'm saying is like quintessential Michael episode is taking that and just turning that entire thing into just one open-ended conversation. Instead of it, like, I didn't have any sort of like script or anything like that. It was just like, all right, guys, I went and saw this movie, and that led me down to like a 12-hour rabbit hole of research about Arthurian legends.
But
Y'all,
it was well presented and interesting.
Yeah.
And what I will say is, after we did that episode, Chloe and I went and saw The Green Knight, and it was for me, it was directly in response to us having done that episode and having like a newfound interest in Arthurian legend. So like, hats off to you. Guess what? I entertained this.
I was this close to seeing that movie, but then we saw, what did we see instead? We saw Free Guy, which was hilarious.
A great movie.
So we still haven't gotten around to watching it, but it's on like a list somewhere, a mental list that we're gonna watch it if it comes out on streaming platforms, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't Disney that made it, right?
No. It wasn't. No, it was like, I don't remember. It was like,
here's the thing. It was.
Because Disney owns everything.
Here's the cool thing. It was 20th Century Fox for 2 years. And then Disney bought 20th Century Fox. So the first half of the movie is made by 20th Century Fox. The second half of the movie is made by Disney, which is why in the end fight, there are all of those references to Disney-owned properties. Because when 20th Century Fox sold out to Disney, Ryan Reynolds was like, hey, you own this now? We're like buddies. Can I use this shit? And Disney was like, yes. So that's why the Free Guy got a lightsaber. That's why he got Captain America's shield. That's why Chris Evans made a cameo.
Okay. Yeah.
Another fun fact is that Chris Evans was actually in town filming a different movie, but Ryan Reynolds knew that he was in town. So he literally called him on a phone and was like, hey, I'm sending a camera guy over. Can you record one line for us real quick? And he was like, what do you want me to be doing? And he's like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. Just record the line. So Chris Evans is sitting there eating a sandwich, looking at his phone, And he goes, "What the hell?" And that was it. And they paid him like $20,000 for that.
Wow.
Love it.
Yeah.
Trivia. I did not know that. Okay.
A lot of fun stuff.
I guess the episode that I enjoyed the most was, it's a close one, but it's a close tie because I want to say it's BioShock 2, the episode that we did, Rapture Revisited again. Or I want to say it's CMS games about like SimCity and stuff. And it's a close tie between those two, partially because CMS games are like, those are like my bread and butter. I love playing those games. City Skylines and the rest that are like that, just construction type of games. I guess you could argue Minecraft's kind of like that too.
We're still holding out on that Minecraft episode.
Oh, it's a feather in my cap. I'm holding on to it. But BioShock 2 is just like, it was like a revisitation of Rapture, obviously, because that's what the title says. But it was like redoing the first episode over again, but this time better because we're older and wiser and we have more worldly knowledge, and we know how to talk about things now a little bit better than we did.
We also have better mics.
And we have better mics. We have better mics and
literally any idea on how to edit a podcast.
Yes. Yeah, we're a little bit better at that. So I don't know.
So that's one thing I do want to speak on is I think just thinking about the podcast overall in this past year, I think that now we, quality wise, and I would even say quantity wise, we hold ourselves to standard to, any podcast you would find out on the street. The Joe Rogan Experience, perhaps, My Brother and Me. Those, for example. I think our audio quality matches what is standard in the industry at this point. And that's one thing that I'm really proud of us for.
Yeah, we did it, you guys.
Yeah.
We're like a real podcast. Because there are some podcasts where it's just three friends talking about something, and then you like turn it on and it's like, so for today, I want to talk about...
They're using their laptop mics in an echoey room.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what are you... This isn't like, a Zoom meeting. Yeah.
Hey, we're going to go record a podcast under the bridge, Mom. Just, yell when dinner's ready.
Yeah, like one of the best like things that we could do to like as an exercise in how far we've come. Go back and listen to the first episodes that we recorded in my old apartment.
Yeah,
with the concrete floors and like everything was echoing. And
every 10 minutes you'd hear.
Yeah,
we did our best. We really did. But then the pandemic hit, and now we bought mics, and then here we are.
We switched to doing it fully remote, which is. Even though we all live really close to each other and we hang out frequently, if not regularly, we still do it remotely just because it is kind of the optimal way of recording a podcast, it seems.
Yeah.
There's no commuting. There's no traffic.
I want to talk about the elephant in the room. We started this year in a podcast network.
I legitimately completely forgot about that.
I think we both did.
The only reason that I remember is because I often see people from the network still posting on like Facebook and stuff.
Yep.
But I think that, it what may have seemed like a step back, I think was a step forward for us for sure. It's more freeing. We get to record whenever we want. I think it was what was best for us.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And like, it was definitely like a great learning experience at the very least.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to make some great connections.
That's true too. And we made a lot of great episodes with people.
Yeah.
Okay. Like enough is enough. Let us talk about our guests this year because there were a plenty, and I want to give all of them their equal time for us to talk about them. Of course, we started the year strong with one of my favorite people, Mr. Steve Price, MD. As he taught us, beyond the barrel, find the best bourbon for you. It was, now you're drinking bourbon, Michael.
Absolutely. It was. I mean, I was drinking before, but now I like really appreciate it.
It was the first guest of the year, and we got to drink bourbon on that episode. Which win.
I feel like that episode in particular was a big one for Nick. It was like someone who like very much didn't like drinking straight bourbon.
I know,
but I remember by the end of the second time, because that was one we had to re-record.
Yeah, that was really fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember by the end of the second episode, you were like, I can at least appreciate this.
That's really all that this podcast as a whole should be about. Is maybe you don't like it, maybe you don't like anime, maybe you don't like
Trains.
Mugen Train, maybe you don't like trains, but if you listen
It's
to
not
an
that you
episode
don't
or
like
two,
trains. Maybe you don't care about trains.
maybe you don't care about.
I'm indifferent. Yeah.
Maybe you're indifferent about
maybe you
them.
don't have a deep-seated appreciation for trains. Maybe if Nick
that's
mentions
okay.
trains one more time, you're gonna, lose your goddamn mind.
Mhm.
Maybe. We're talking
Maybe.
hypothetically here. We're not talking real life. We're not talking facts and figures or numbers. We're just joking around, just a couple friends.
But all that being said, at least you will appreciate why some people might be into locomotives or trains or even
bourbon.
maybe anime or Pee Wee Herman or
Or
the list
bourbon.
goes on and on. So you don't have to like any of the things that we like. We just ask that maybe you
entertain
appreciate
it.
them a little more and you entertain them at the end of the day.
And that's what this is all about. Our next guest, we actually had two guests in our February guest spot.
Wow.
One fact checker, Chloe Price, and her friend, Ari. I'm sorry about that. I just lost my everything.
We're very professional here.
Her friend Ari came on. Ari runs a magazine who Chloe often writes for. And they talked to us about owning a magazine that was about representing and empowering women, which was a great episode that I suggest you go back and listen to if you haven't yet. Huge shout out. Another thing that happened this year that I think I failed to mention was that we added another player to our team.
Yeah.
What was once just 3 boys, we now have a female representation in the form of my girlfriend Chloe, our fact checker. And I want to invite Chloe up to speak with us now. Come on up, Chloe.
She's like,
Hey.
Here's a fun fact. You guys remember when I said Chris Evans says, "What the hell?" She fact checked me when I said that. He actually says, "What the shit?" And that's like why we have her here. So shout out to Chloe. Thank you for joining our team and
Hey guys.
listening to us say stupid shit all the time.
I love being your fact checker. Y'all
Do
can
you
go
have-
fact yourselves.
Do you have any spur of the moment fun facts off the top of your dome that has nothing to do with anything for us?
Did
off
you
your
know
skills.
that Napoleon Bonaparte, they mummified his penis when he died, and it later sold for like 40 grand at auction
I'd pay
to
that
some
much.
weirdo collector. It was like, I want to see the shortest, most famous man's penis.
That is a fun fact. Any others?
It probably looked like a mushroom.
That is
Think
a
about
fun
it.
fact.
you have to know about it. It'd be like significant shrinkage all around.
Yeah.
Don't keep that in your kitchen. You may get confused.
Another fun fact, opossums have 50 teeth, which is more teeth than most mammals.
Are
That's
they named
terrifying.
possums or are they named possums? Someone tell me!
Depends on what part of the country you're in.
I
Really,
think
What?
that's a colloquialism.
it's just whatever part of the country you are. I think down
Like
south they
soda
call
or
them
pop.
opossums.
Opossums?
Did you know that possums are they're immune to rabies? And
they
they're
eat
actually
ticks,
they're
which
actually
is
one
awesome.
they're actually one of the cleanest vermins that we have in America. And if you pick them up, you'll be perfectly fine. They're
Okay.
little sweethearts.
The fact checker for the show does not recommend picking up possums that you find in the wild. We do not
them
endorse the
saying
message.
That if you did, you would not die.
Not immediately.
Did you see that guy in the
strictly rabies.
news that got attacked by otters and got bit 26 times and thought he was going to die?
Yeah, I think I was
Otters?
going to die too if I got bit by an otter 20-something times.
Otters!
Otters
Yeah.
don't have teeth.
Oh, they so do.
Yeah.
They're super sharp.
Hold on. Everyone, shh. Yeah, but you should see the otter guy.
Ah!
That's pretty good.
It
That's pretty good.
Yay.
Thank you, Chloe, for coming up and giving us some fun facts on this,
Yeah.
the most
Thank you.
glorious of celebratory episodes. And that's what this is.
Congratulations, guys.
This episode
Hey,
is a
congratulations
victory
to you.
lap. That's why it seems unscripted, because it is. It's just 3 guys talking about how they tied themselves together for another year and they talked about bullshit all through the year. They didn't quit. They just kept doing it Even though no one asked them to, they kept on doing it. And that's
Two
what we're here
guys
for.
and one lady.
That's right. 3 guys in a truck. Let's keep moving on with our guest episodes. But first, thanks, Chloe. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so our next guest that we brought on, let's see. Who could it have been?
Who was it in March? I don't remember.
It was friend of the show, Nick
yeah.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Oh,
He came on
Our
and he
buddy
talked
Nick.
about how the pandemic was affecting the movie industry, the theatrical release industry.
mhm.
Because it was a lot of movie theaters were really hurting throughout the pandemic, and that's what we talked about. And he told us some fun facts about why certain directors were wanting in theater releases and how contracts were being, kind of worked around, and people were getting ripped off because theatrical releases weren't huge. And I remind you, we did this in March, far before the release of Black Widow or Scarlett Johansson suing Disney for her contract basically being absolutely nothing. Because her contract stated that she got paid off of the in theater ticket sales. So when they released it on Disney Plus, that lowered her pay by a crap ton. If you remember. So another one where I think that we hit when the iron was real hot.
I guess it was more of a prophecy, actually.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, I guess it kind of was. But I mean, we were seeing effects of it then. It just wasn't as widespread. I mean, we saw a lot of closings of like mom and pop run theaters. We had one called the Danbury around us, which I'm sure Michael is familiar with. That is it is a parking lot now because it was like a cheapo dollar movie theater that just couldn't live through the pandemic.
Right.
Ouch.
Yeah, it happened, man. It was a real thing that was going on.
Yeah, I guess that podcast changed my perspective on how we see movies now. Because I used to think that, you can just, you wait until it comes out on stream, then you can just go watch it in your basement, right? But that's not the way it was meant to be seen. It was meant to be seen on the big screen. It was meant to be seen in a movie theater with Dolby surround sound and digital and all this other stuff. So, from here on out, we've been seeing the movies in the theaters when they come out.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's one of those
Chloe
things,
and
I'm sure we can have like a whole nother conversation about this stuff, about like the way that movies are being made now, like as if they're being made to be streamed instead of actually being made to be seen in theaters.
And like movies that are only seeing stream releases but are made to the quality of in theater movies. Like, for example, Tick Tick Boom recently released strictly on Netflix. And after watching it, I was like, this deserves everything. Like, it should have gotten a theatrical release. It should be like an Oscar nod. It deserved all of it.
Yeah. And I think there was probably like one big example from this year in Dune. Like, Dune was a movie that was explicitly made to be seen on the big screen, and people noticed that. They definitely like took hold of that, and like that had real effects. Even though the fact that the movie was released alongside it on like HBO Max, people were still like going out of their way to go to the theaters, especially like IMAX theaters, to go see the movie in person, which was just like crazy for what's going on in the world.
Yeah, I think you definitely needed to go see that movie in IMAX to get the full effect.
Yeah,
which unfortunately I didn't get around to doing for whatever reason, but maybe I will in the future. Who knows? If it comes back into the IMAX theaters, I'd be more than happy to go see it. I'm not going to watch a 36-inch screen.
Tomorrow we're going to be seeing Spider-Man No Way Home in Dolby Digital. It's going to be awesome because it's
visual.
Yeah, it's like Sony makes Dolby Digital, and it's like a Sony-based movie, so they always make their movies to be like seen in Dolby Digital. And with Dolby surround sound, it blasts you out of your goddamn seat. It's incredible. Anyway, April, we were nominated for our very first podcast award.
Yep.
I remember waiting up all day to see if we won. We did not, but it was an honor to be nominated.
It was a rigged witch hunt, and everyone needs to know it. I'm kidding.
But also in the month of April, we did something that I'm pretty proud of all of us for doing. We took a huge, giant step out of our comfort zone as we invited Scott Curtis from the Behind the Bits podcast onto our podcast to discuss David Lynch's movie Blue Velvet. It was a cinematic experience that made me have to take several showers after. And I'm so happy that we did it.
Yeah. I was happy we did that episode. I'm not happy I watched the movie.
Of course not. No, absolutely not. But I'm happy that we did the episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm happy I actually watched the movie too.
Yeah, and it helped too that like Scott, what an absolute character of a person.
Yeah, love that guy. And we were on his show too at one point, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was like we knew that things were hot when we went on his show, and it was like, all right, that was good. And as soon as he came on ours, it was like, yep, just more of the same. It was all just good stuff.
Still good.
That's his character. He's not playing a character. That's just him. So
yeah.
This wasn't a guest episode, but it was an episode with a lot of guests. I think it was maybe one of our biggest episodes that we've done to date. And that is the second Star Wars extravaganza titled the Star Wars Extravaganza 2, The Facts Strike Back. This was before our fact checker, Chloe, but if she was there, she would have kicked our asses for some of the shit that we said. Because before this, we would, believe me, the reason we got a fact checker was before Chloe was here to fact check us, we would just say shit. It didn't have to be true. We would just say it. We'd just put it out there. We got Chloe, so we would stop doing that.
Yeah. We got a lot of complaints.
Yes. So in the Star Wars Extravaganza 2, it was less, because I remember the first Star Wars Extravaganza was just the three of us talking about Star Wars, and a lot of the stuff that we said, we were just like, I don't know, is this true? I don't know, it might be, but this sucks. Yeah, this sucks too. This one, I think the three of us did the least amount of talking because we had so many great guests who came on. We had people from the Scene Snobs Network who came on and talked to us about growing up with Star Wars. We had DJW come on and talk to us about the extended universe and the extended lore of Star Wars through the publications that have been released. And we had Nick come on and talk to us about some of the more finer details of the making of the Star Wars trilogy, the most recent one. And stuff like that. It was a great episode. We had a lot of great guests, and I'm very thankful for everyone involved in it, as I am thankful for everyone who dares come on our show, period. Because I wouldn't blame you if you didn't.
Made possible by viewers like you.
Thank you. So, we got in the month of May a little jazzed up. Our guest episode was actually Chloe coming on to do an episode on Bojack Horseman, which I think was actually Chloe. I think either the week after that was actually Chloe's first week as our actual fact checker.
Yeah.
So our first employee, my girlfriend Chloe. We don't pay her. We don't get paid either. We're still looking for advertisers. Not actively, but proactively.
Yeah. Bojack, you want to hit us up, man?
Yeah, Bojack, hit us up.
I'll pay you.
And then moving on forward, we brought on the guy from the YouTube channel, The Scoop on You. I don't think that we ever got his name.
We did an episode.
Paul?
Probably Paul, maybe?
Paul?
I don't know,
Yeah,
but he goes by The
sure
Scoop. The Scoop on the U. We talked about college football. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then our next guest episode was a huge step out of our comfort zone when we did. Are you guys ready? This was this year, which is wild. Project Icosa.
Yeah.
The Shadow of the Shoal Storm Pillars, Part 1, DM'd by our friend Hamilton.
Yeah, that was a great time.
That was a great time. That was in July.
Yeah. That feels like it was a year and a half ago.
In case you missed it, you can, of course, anything that we talk about today, this is a year in review. We're just talking about the stuff that we did this year. And if you're interested in any of it, go through our feed. You can find it. But Project Icosa is our D&D podcast spinoff of Entertain This that we plan on really taking off next year. And in this first little test that we did, we follow Dog, the Samurai Hunter, Bear, the Bearkin Barbarian, and who did you play, Michael?
That's a really good question.
It
It
is,
was
isn't it? You
a
were a
bard
He was a
by
bard.
the name of
We go
Bart?
D&D Beyond real quick.
No. That's not
I'm
my
just
character.
glad that you also don't remember.
Just blacked out.
Akir.
Akir.
Oh,
Yeah.
There it is. That was a
Akir.
fun one.
Yeah, that's one of my big problems. I randomly off the cuff, like every other day, will come up with a brand new D&D character. So like most of their names are just like completely forgotten to me.
Oh man, I fell in love with Bear to the extent that I've played him in multiple one-shots now. I've
Yeah.
incorporated him into my main D&D game that I play like with Chloe and Chloe's, friends that have accepted me into their D&D group. He like is now a like NPC in that game. I have a $70 minifig that I bought of Bear. I love Bear. Bear is my boy. I want so desperately to play Bear in like a full campaign. It is ridiculous the amount of appreciation that I have for Bear. That's just the connection that I have to like the characters that I build. Because like I'm not here for a fun time. I'm here for a long time.
I'm here for a fun time, not a long time. And so is Dog the Bounty Hunter, or Samurai Hunter too. Because
Speaking
I
of
think
which,
at
we
one
started
point-
a side campaign that we didn't record and we never finished called Chaos Quest that
Oh.
starred Dog the Samurai Hunter.
Yep.
And
I
it
don't know
will
if it
eat at me
starred
until the
him.
day that I
That's-
die, I think. And that's okay.
We'll get back to it. The holidays are a busy time.
You're right.
We're busy, man.
We'll get back to it. There was stuff that went on. Guys, this year Bo Burnham released Inside. That's not a guest spot, but just an interesting thing.
Special guest Bo Burnham?
Not a musical, but like special guest Bo Burnham. Not
Yeah.
clickbait. But we did Inside Part 1 and Part 2, which is
Part 1 I believe
interesting.
was episode 69 as well.
Nice.
So Chloe didn't only bring her big old brain with her when she joined our group. She also brought a number of friends, a cast of colorful characters that, Chloe's such a sweet, nice, beautiful human being. Anybody would do anything for her. So there were a number of guests that we only got because Chloe had some sort of tie to them. I would count Dr. Steve Price as one of them, being that's Chloe's father, though he is also, he's also my girlfriend's dad, but that's neither
Super
here nor
nice.
there.
You deserve at least a little bit of credit.
I deserve a little credit. That's what I'm saying. But our next guest was a product of Chloe entirely, and that was.
It appears that Alex has been frozen in time. Michael, would you like to try and cast a spell on him to unfreeze him?
No, I would much rather appreciate we get like one of those Simpson bits, like we're having technical difficulties with a drunken monkey.
Eric Andre will be right back.
Yeah. What's he doing? What, Alex? Come on now.
Come on. This is an ongoing bit for those of you who are live streaming this. Alex likes to freeze, and he doesn't respond to anything. Normally we got this poured out in the audio version of the podcast, but the video version, he thinks it's hilarious to just freeze up and not say anything.
Yeah, he thinks it's so funny. He just leaves.
He can't control himself.
Yeah.
While he's away, the girl must play.
Are you gonna
Might as well
fact
give
check
our
me?
0 live viewers a show,
Right.
Can you say a bigger number so I can splice that in?
A what?
Can you say a bigger number than 0 so I can replace that?
The 1,800 viewers we actually do have. She's
That's
beautiful. She's enchanting. Also, I'm including a couple of fun facts at the end of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. I hope that's okay.
Yeah.
There are too many fun facts.
Incorrect.
Oh, I like that.
Thanks. I'm not quite done, but
I knew it was a newspaper article, but I did not know that it was that one.
I need access.
Yeah, I needed access too. I had to. Chloe, you should know our emails.
I would rather you just click the link. Alex just texted me and said no more internet.
Well,
Oh, so let's move on. I guess so.
yeah.
Where
Well,
did we leave off?
He was talking about the next guest that you had, which since
Well-
you said it was solely based on me, I'm thinking Brian. But
Yeah,
we
it
should
was
not move on without him.
yeah,
It
no,
was
This is weird.
Brian Koenig, the
Koenig.
juggler at large.
Koenig. Yeah.
Yeah, Koenig. He says his name Koenig, I guess.
He did say Koenig, but
Yep.
Mhm.
But it's spelled with a K, so it makes you want to say Koenig.
right,
But it's not. Yeah.
absolutely.
And funnily enough, he's tangentially related to me because a friend of mine. Oh,
Oh,
I just saw.
my bad.
Oh,
I added him at the same time he added himself. So
Hey guys,
Hello.
here's
I
a
was
fun
gonna-
fact. A
I was
year in
gonna keep
review.
rolling.
Here's a review. Yeah, no, I kept recording that whole time. No worries.
Okay, cool.
Here's a review. My Wi-Fi has been slowly dying all year, and I think our year in review episode it finally gave out.
Wow.
I am currently on my phone's hotspot, and I just hope that it's working.
Yeah, it's coming through pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
another person that had to use their phone Wi-Fi to do an episode, right?
Go ahead.
Mr. Brian Koenig. I keep saying it wrong.
You ruined it. It's all
Anyways,
over now.
I was talking about him because he's our next guest if we're going chronologically last year.
Correct. Our juggling
And,
juggler boy,
Yeah.
and it's
what a-
Koenig, but that's fine.
I know. I corrected myself later. He's going to be so angry at me. He's going to throw a juggling pin right through my neck next time I see him. If I see him at all.
He said he's going to come into town. That's one thing that a bunch of our guests said was that they were going to come into town and have drinks with us.
Yeah.
Did any of them do that? Nope. That's
Not
okay.
yet.
We're still in the middle of a pandemic, so
But
I'm
hopefully
okay
soon.
with that.
I'm still making my Wi-Fi work, so keep the show running.
Oh, okay. So that was our guest. That was a pretty fun episode. He actually, I think he showed us his butt once. If that's correct.
That was off stream. That was off
That
stream.
was okay.
Yeah.
Well,
He also did juggle for us, which is something
He
that I feel
did.
like
that's the more important in PG-13.
we should talk about.
He showed us different types of pins that you'd use for juggling, and I found out
And he
something that
told
you
us-
needed to.
He told us secrets of the trade. He told us about how there is a magician's feud against jugglers.
Which I didn't know. You learn something new every day, and if you don't, then you're dying.
Is
That's what
that
I would
true?
say. I don't know. What do we got? Oh,
The one, the only.
So yeah, so let's go ahead and let's look at the next guest.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you know who it is?
Do you know Alex?
It's
It was
just
it was yeah,
Jeff flipping Kinney.
the boy, the man.
probably the
creator.
biggest get that we ever got and may ever get.
Could be.
Yeah, could be.
Uh,
Hopefully not,
so-
but like
it's so
also
cool
super
having
happy
Jeff
we got
come
him.
on.
Yeah.
We somehow, I don't want to say fooled him because that'd be dishonest, but
We
got
did not
a-
fool him.
No,
He
he came
fooled
on his
us.
own accord.
It was serendipitous, and we talked about it in the episode. He had just figured out that what he was saying people were commenting on, and I just so happened to comment exactly around that same time on one of his posts that he should come on our podcast, and he wanted to, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
So I was in contact with his people, and they were very lovely. And very nice people. They provided everything that we needed when we were making promotional material and everything. They helped promote the podcast when it finally came out. It came out to great reception. Probably one of our most listened to episodes of the year. We got to do some really cool stuff. Like we got to ask Jeff Kinney questions from second grade students, which I think he probably got a kick out of. We got to learn some cool stuff too.
Yeah, like he goes to a graveyard to write his stories.
Yeah.
And something equally cool was he showed us like a sketchbook of his where he had drawn sketches for his next book. Like we got to see his Wimpy Kid diary, like the official real one.
Mhm.
The Diary of a Wimpy Kid's diary. No, that's not right.
He said that he was Greg though.
Oh, that's cool though. I didn't know. Well, obviously I have to start somewhere, but a lot of people sometimes will when they're creating something, they'll start with a computer. But it was kind of interesting to see somebody start with, the old analog pen and pencil on paper kind of approach to things, and then move to a computer, especially in this day and age. So good to see his process too.
In lieu of a guest episode for the month of October, on October 29th, we released what was our second Halloween special, or Halloween Spooktacular, if you would. We called it Halloween Horoscope Horror Spooktacular. For somebody from Kentucky who can barely pronounce the word horror movie. Do you want to see one of those horror movies?
Yeah,
who can barely pronounce it normally. That's a terrible title to pronounce, but a great title to read.
Because your head voice never messes things up, right?
Correct. In that episode, our fact checker Chloe, once again, she basically made this year happen. She had tweeted something along the lines of using your birth chart to tell you what your scary movie was. And using that, we got all of our birth charts and then had to write a movie in an hour that included all of the things that were given to us via our birth charts. And if I remember correctly, we kicked that thing's ass.
Yeah. No, we did a great job on that and had a great time too.
Yeah, it was a very good movie.
Now we just need to go pay somebody $2,000.
Is that how much you think it is?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? I can think of a couple reasons why not.
I didn't say we had to pay anyone. I'm just saying we're going to pay the director and then he can figure out the rest. You know what I mean?
We're going to pay the director $2,000?
A day.
For how many days?
However long it takes.
I can afford to pay. I can pay him for one day. And then I'm out of money.
You better get it done in a day. That's all I'm saying.
But, Nick, Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's correct. It wasn't.
Not
much is.
Because everyone tells me that. Another thing that happened this year, I got this new chair from Michael.
Yeah.
It's lovely and makes me feel like a professional boy. If you want to get your own chairs, we have a great promotion for you. This episode of the podcast is sponsored. It's not. Sorry. It's not. But you could see how a sponsorship would fit nicely in there. So if you have one that you want us to do,
We're going to be called Hello Chair.
Hello Chair will send you one piece of a chair every month for the next 16 months. By the end of the 16-month cycle, you will have yourself a full desk chair. Now, what kind of desk chair? That's really up to you. They have custom packages where you can pick and choose the color of your chair, the amount of cushion it has, the number of features it has. Or you can go with what I went with, which is the standard randomized pack, where they just basically take whatever the hell is laying on the ground of the factory and they throw it in a box every month. And by the end of the 16 months, you have a bunch of parts that, could fit together to make a computer chair, or you might have 16 arms. Just kind of depends on, you could get lucky. You could get all the pieces you need, but you're going to need duct tape. And that's a guarantee. Use promo code EntertainChairs on www.chairnow.com to save 0% on your brand new chair.
Good job.
Don't actually try it.
That was improvised.
No, yeah.
Or do.
I don't care. Is there a www.chairnow.com?
Chair now. Don't try and buy a domain again. It didn't end well last time.
What happened last time?
I don't know. You tried to call a company about, I forget the domain's name.
Chair Now is real.
What domain was I trying to?
Was it Penn Island?
Yes, I was trying to buy Penn. It was Penn 15, I think.
Penn 15.
Oh my God! Okay. It's an actual desk chair website.
Yeah.
Chair.com.
Santa Ana, California.
Santa, that's funny.
What?
Orange County.
This is like actually the chair that I have.
Yeah, basically.
Oh no, I did a real ad, guys. Oh no.
They're gonna be like, why are we getting all these fake promo codes?
This improv. They have used/pre-owned desk chairs. Okay, well we got to check that out.
Oh, not really. The link doesn't work.
It worked for me.
Oh, what?
They have conference
downloaded it
tables,
first.
L desks, executive office furniture, cubicle/workstations that you can buy. They have a warehouse full of shit. Come and get it.
Warehouse just full of chairs.
Just full of chairs.
Not a
Quotes.
lot of
We're
sitting, but
passionate
plenty of
about
chairs."
bringing quality desk chairs and other furnitures to you now. Join our emailing list.
No thanks.
There's a okay. This is taking a turn, but I'm talking about this. There's on deskchairnow.com/quote. It just says, okay, you click on it and it takes you to a web page, and the header it says quote in green. And then it says, we're passionate about bringing quality desks, chairs, and other office furniture to you now. And that's it. That's the whole page. It is a quote. It is not quotes. It is not get a quote on a chair. It is a singular quote as promised. And that was it.
That's all I need. I'm sold.
Chairs now?
I'm so confused.
What about later?
Is this?
It's gonna have to be later. I can't do now.
Is this a real? Is this a real person? What is this? What is this? This feels like an ARG beginning where like I click on the C and it shows me like pictures of somebody's murder
in a chair.
I want to call this number. I want to call this number really bad.
I thought we had an episode to.
I think this is part of it, Nick.
This is.
This is wild.
You guys like
I'm
sitting?
sorry. We're done. We're done with that now.
You guys have butts that you sit upon? What do you sit on?
Sometimes.
Often.
Floor? No. A table?
Are
Chairs?
we still doing an ad for chairnow.com?
I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I'm
just
fine
saying,
with that.
Most of the time, when you park your butt in a spot, it's in a chair.
I want to talk about our last guest. Can we finish this?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Our most recent guest, our last guest, another product of the Chloe Price friendship package, was the artist, illustrator, and animator, Ward Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upon inviting him, we were like, okay, he's written some children's books. That's cool. But once we got to talking to him, we were like, holy shit, you shaped our childhood and you didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
What a cool discovery. It was like seeing an old friend in a train station and not recognizing them at first. And then like the rush of emotions when you're like, holy shit, that's so-and-so. That is what that entire episode felt like.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that he was a really cool dude. Michael, you had you had a big connection to this episode. I want you to talk about it.
Yeah. So I think like what really hit me was when I was going through his page, like his like portfolio site, and I noticed that there were a few entries there for Cartoon Network. And for me, like I was a giant Cartoon Network kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like for me, it was like we had Disney, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon all in channels right back to back, like 32, 33, 34. And so like I lived in those three numbers, but mostly at 33 Cartoon Network. And I remembered seeing like during that interview or that episode, I remembered watching his trailer that he made for Cartoon Network, where he brought in all the different characters who were big on the network at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it just unlocked just a huge chain of memories in my brain. And just made me start going down like the memory lane of like Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken,
Chicken and Cow.
and all of those different shows from that time. And it just like I forgot just how much of an impact that really made on me, and seeing like the sort of work that he did.
Yeah, he was, and he also made like a Cookie Crisp commercial.
Yeah,
correctly, which was
with the
insane.
Trojan horse cookie crisp.
Yeah, the Trojan cookie.
Yeah, because as soon as I watched that, I was like, oh, yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I would like, whenever Project Icosa takes off and we're running like a legitimate campaign with characters, I would love to commission Ward to draw those characters for the
That'd be fun.
podcast for like the podcast art for that series.
Oh yeah.
I
That'd be
think that
really
would be
cool.
really cool. Well, that's all of the guests that we had this year, and a very special thank you to everybody who, as Abba would say, took a chance on me or on us.
Us. This.
But
Oh, I took a
that's
chance
not what
on
Abba
this.
said. Took a chance on this. If you watch us, let me know, because I want to know, because analytics are bad for our web show. Take a chance on us. So I ask of you out there, take a chance on us and entertain this. We're coming close to the end, not only the end of the episode, but the end of the year. And I just want to take a second to thank you two for being here, for taking a chance on specifically me, and for talking with me weekly about all things entertainment. I don't think you guys could ever, I would never tell you, because I'm bad with communication, of how much it actually means to me that you guys make it every week and that you put in the extra time and effort to come up with topics and spend an hour of your week talking with me about it. It really means a lot. So thank you too. It's a big deal.
Oh,
Of course, buddy.
And I know this is like our shared podcast, but I just, I just want to thank you guys personally. It means a
No.
lot. I love you guys.
Yeah, no, and like I feel like
the show.
yeah, this podcast has been the exact thing that we've really needed over the last 2 years. Just a really dumb reason for us to just get together on a regular basis and hang out and talk.
yeah.
There has never been a point where I've thought, who I haven't talked to in a while? Michael and Nick. It has been so
Yeah.
consistent that when I think about my friends, the first two people I think about are you two, because that's how often we are involved in each other's lives. And it's all
Yeah.
thanks to this podcast. And, the same kindness I extend to Chloe, of course, for being here every week. And she doesn't always get to come up and talk. There are a lot of episodes where she doesn't even make it on screen, or we don't need her to fact check. And she's always doing so much work behind the scenes to make the show happen. And it's just so great to have her on here too. So big thank you to Chloe as well, as she blows us a kiss from the green room.
And thank you from some remote corner of my brain for letting me do a trains episode, because no, really, if I didn't get it out, I don't know what I would do with all that knowledge. What am I going to do? Share it with my dog?
Here's what I'll say. And I've held back telling you this, Nick, because I felt like you maybe couldn't handle the information, but I'm going to tell you now. There is a TikTok community of train heads who chase trains around London and talk about each individual train that passes. And I think you need to seek them out.
Okay.
I think this is the beginning of your hero's journey. Well, that's what I'm telling you, is that you need to be, because they're there. They're waiting for you.
Oh boy.
Go get your train fill. More importantly, go get your train fill somewhere else.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to me talk and be bad at podcasting. I really enjoy the research aspect of things and talking about things that I like to talk about, because maybe sometimes the people don't want to hear what I have to talk about, and you guys are listening. So thanks for doing that.
We always want to hear I think it's fair to say that dealing with the energy that Michael and I bring, it can sometimes be overwhelming. And Nick, you take it like a champ, because Michael and I have a hard time taking our lives seriously, let alone an hour-long script about trains or something else. But even through our ribbing, you get us through it, and your episodes are always so concise and so well researched and very entertaining. So don't even think for a second that we're not listening.
Wet Blanket Award goes to me.
Correct. wait. That's good. Okay, Nick, you get the Golden Wet Blanket Award. It drips gold. There, I came up with the Nick's. Now you guys do. Okay, now Nick and I need to come up with Michael's. Michael, this year you get the Didn't Take a Month-Long Break Award.
Woo!
Because this year you didn't take a month-long break.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you both get bullshit has a negative connotation to it, and I wish it didn't, because you guys are really good at talking without a whole lot of preparation.
Improvisation award would have been fine.
Yeah,
The word. I was like, bullshit just seems
the bullshitters award.
I like the
that
bullshitters award more. Let's celebrate it.
It's a close tie because Alex could have done it too, but Michael just, I don't know what it is. The episodes that Michael does are so damn entertaining to listen back to.
Mhm.
It's because I don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth next.
And then it's just like, okay, let's just talk about
Yeah.
Us either, man.
It just works. It
Yeah.
just works. Okay.
I don't know. I would give Alex the Golden Mouth Award.
Golden mouth.
The Golden Mouth Award for just being the one who like gets us through whenever there's any like dead space or like dead time. Like you're always the one who's willing to
podcast for us too. The cold opens.
You're always the one who steps up and like gets things going, keeps the ball rolling. You keep the momentum throughout everything.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. I once had a choir teacher who told me that my mouth runs like diarrhea, and I took that personally. So here we are. It's a superpower. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
I give Chloe the put up with our bullshit award. As well as
that is the most important and most well-earned award of them all.
I also give her the Hero of the Internet award because there are a lot of people who listen to our podcasts and they scream at us and then they stop screaming when they hear that dun 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 dun, because that's Chloe coming on to tell us that we're idiot assholes. She's the voice of the internet and we appreciate it.
Saved us from going off the rails multiple times off of
Are you really going to make this a fucking train thing?
inaccurate information that could have gotten us
Oh my
derailed. And then
God.
we kept going down.
Anyway, thank
Down
you
the
guys
line,
for
that
sticking through another year. Special shout out to Nick's mom for liking every tweet that I've ever tweeted on the Entertain
Aw.
This Twitter.
Thanks, Mom.
Shout out to Jackie Savoya for always being right there when
Yep.
we post something to Instagram. Y'all the realist. Shout out to my mom for embarrassing me in front of Jeff Kinney during the live show. That was
That was
dope.
so good.
Shout
Top
out
10
to
episodes. That's near the top. I'm just
Shout
gonna
out to
say.
Steve Price for coming on our show, even though I'm just some weirdo who's dating his daughter. He's way too nice to me. Shout out to Beth Price for being cool with us stealing her husband for a night. Shout out to all the parents out there who show support to their child's weird artistic dreams. We're all living in Bohemia and we need to wake the hell up. It doesn't matter though. It's great.
Where's Bohemia?
Bohemia is a state of mind. It's about struggling. It's about struggling and making art is what it is.
Starving
But
artists.
it's been another year. It's been a great year, and we appreciate all of you for listening. Michael, I have a gift for you. It is still around the Christmas time, and I want you to open it. So go ahead. Go ahead and open it up.
Shit. Fuck. Wait, I dropped it. Damn it. I need to find fucking paper I can rip.
Michael is a mess.
Come on.
All right,
I wrapped
here
it
we
up
go.
special for you.
Yeah. Here. I picked it up off the floor.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see it.
3, 2,
Open
1.
it up. Open up the box.
What do we got? What's
Oh,
inside?
Here it is. Oh,
What is it?
look at this. Oh, he looks so excited. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Michael. You don't have to do a quick this week because
Where's my
if there's
present?
any. Okay, Nick, open up yours.
All right, hold on. Oh, you got. This is some
You're
nice
really gonna
wrapping
like
paper.
this.
Yeah.
I really thought hard about this one, guys. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
you
is
do
this?
have to do a quick this week.
Oh,
Oh, exciting. That's
guys,
okay.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh my god.
We already did a quick this about Thomas the Tank Engine.
is
Thank you
messed
guys for
up
dealing with
beyond
us for another
normal.
year. If there is anything that you want to see us cover, there are a couple of different ways that you can reach out to us. Number one, you can email us. Our email is entertainthispodcast@gmail.com. Get the words out, man. You do podcasting for a living.
Get the lid out.
Jeez. Get the lid out. Or you can go to our website. It's www.entertainthis.net. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Guys, we have a website. That's another thing that happened this year, I think.
Mhm.
And there's a little questionnaire that you can fill out. Sends it straight to our email. It's a super easy way to get in contact with us. You can also find us on our social media. On Twitter, we are entertain_this. On Instagram, we are Entertain This Podcast. You can find our Facebook page. We are Podcast Entertain This. You can reach out there, talk about stuff that we talk about on the show. we're going to start getting into like making chat rooms for each individual episode so that people who enjoy a certain thing that we talk about can gather with people who also enjoy it and can discuss it. All cool things coming in the future. We're taking a week off for the holidays. I think we have something special planned that we're going to release instead. Or maybe we released that last week. No, this is the special thing that we're releasing. We released something special last week is what happened.
Yes.
So we took last week off, but you get the point. We're coming back on the first Friday of the new year with a brand new round of Entertain This episodes coming straight for you. This is the end of season 2. As always, entertain us so we can entertain you, and you can entertain this. We'll see you guys next year. Bye.
See you next year.
See you next year. Bye.
This episode of Entertain This was written by Michael Savoya, Alex Steele, and Nick Mustakangas. Our showrunner and resident fact-checker is Chloe Price. Our theme music is Rushable by Aaron Spencer, with interstitial music by DJW. Tune in every Friday for new episodes, and thanks for listening.